welcome, welcome. So, inside of today's training, I want to walk you guys through how I personally went from obsessing over food all day. Food was on my mind 24/7. I felt out of control with sweets, especially chocolate, late at night. How I transitioned from that to having the most effortless relationship with food, with not a single urge to binge, stopping when I'm full, no food thoughts, no urges, and maintaining a binge-free life for 5 years. So there's a few steps that I did along my journey. The first thing that I did was I practiced not giving into my urges. Now, you have probably heard me talk about this before. You hear me say that every single time that you feel the urge to binge and you don't give in, you are effectively rewiring your brain out of binge eating. Every single time that you feel that urge and you say, I am way more powerful than you, strong urge, I can do hard things. Nope, this is actually not who I am. Binge eating is not who I am. And you don't give in, even though it's uncomfortable, you are weakening your binge urges. You are rewiring your brain. Hi, Emma. You are rewiring your brain out of binge eating. And I know that it's challenging. Like when that urge comes on, I remember it felt like it was this itchy mosquito bite that needed to be scratched. You know, when you have a mosquito bite and you're like, don't scratch it, because as soon as I start scratching it, I'm going to not be able to stop scratching it. But then as soon as you're like, but I'm just going to scratch it a little bit because it's so itchy, you start scratching your itchy mosquito bite, and next thing you know, you can't stop scratching. AKA, you tell yourself, I'm just going to have one little cookie. I'm just going to have one cookie. And next thing you know, you had something sweet, you had the one cookie, and your brain is like, that was so good. So then you have two cookies, 3, 4, 5, 6 cookies, and you regret it, just like scratching an itchy mosquito bite. Now, all night long, you're scratching your arm. You're like, oh, I shouldn't have started in the first place. It's really the same thing when it comes to binge eating. So the first thing that I did to help me completely eliminate my binge urges was I stopped giving in. This is so important. If you want to stop your binge eating, you have to stop giving in to your urges. Because like I said, every single time that you give in, you are further ingraining this habit into your brain. Your brain now goes, well, every single time I feel this uncomfortable feeling in my body, I have to give in. I know how to feel relief and comfort. I give in. So this is how you have to retrain your brain and say, no, 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 no. This is actually not who I am. Binge eating is not who I am. This behavior is not a true reflection of the woman that I want to be. This is not a true reflection of who I am deep down at my core. Like all of you know that you were put on this planet to do really amazing things. I truly believe that. I believe that for myself. I believe that for so many women. It's like you did not come here on this planet to be spending all day thinking about food, wondering when your next urge is going to be, feeling overly full. Like you're so much better than that. But the first step is you have to practice not giving into your urges. That is what I did on my journey. And that's why my urges dissipated. My urges eventually went away. And now I haven't had a single urge in 5 years. Now, the second thing that I did to help me completely stop my binge eating was I healed my relationship with rest. Not many people really talk about this, but when you are a go-getter, when you have big, ambitious goals, when you care about growth and personal development, you want to be successful, you tend to go, 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 go all day, every day. And what ends up happening is you feel guilty for resting. You feel bad for just relaxing. Oh, but I could be doing the dishes. Oh, but I could send out this email. Oh, but I could go for a walk. I could do this. I could do that. And you are feeling bad for letting yourself relax. You feel bad. You feel guilty. And for me personally, what I experienced was come the end of the day after a long day of work, I was tired. I would get home sometimes like 8 o'clock, sometimes 9 o'clock. I'd be so tired. And I didn't want to watch boring TV and waste my brain cells away. Like, I don't want to be watching TV. I don't want to be scrolling on my phone. But also, I am literally too tired to even hop in the bath. I would always tell myself, Lorna, just come home and, like take a hot bath. And half the time I'm like, I don't even have the energy to take a bath. I'm going to fall asleep in the freaking bathtub. I'm like, I don't even have the energy for that. But I felt like I needed to be productive. I felt like I needed to do something. I'm not going to just sit on the couch, twiddle my thumbs, stare at the ceiling. I'm like, I have to do something. I'm tired to not want to do much, but I'm not tired enough to go to bed. So I said, well, go into the kitchen and go eat. Because in my brain, that felt more productive than sitting on the couch and not doing anything. And we all know that mindlessly snacking, overeating, grabbing the chocolate chip cookie bag and sitting there and stuffing your face is the least productive thing that you can possibly do. But at the time, I felt like that was more productive. Like I was doing something instead of just sitting on the couch, not doing anything. But I'm here to tell you that rest is productive. Rest is sometimes the most productive thing that you can do. Who do you think is going to have more energy? Person one, who allows themselves to decompress, unwind come the evenings, or person two that's like, I feel so guilty resting, I'm just going to go and snack. Of course, it's going to be person one because they actually relax. When you're eating, not only are you not relaxing, but now you're also most likely regretting it, feeling bad. Oh, I didn't even need that. I should have just went to bed. And then there's so many other emotions that come with that. And a lot of the times, if you're mindlessly snacking before bed, maybe you can't even get a quality sleep. So I worked on my relationship with rest. I recognize that rest is actually really productive. And I don't mean rest like just sit down and twiddle your thumbs and not do anything. What I actually mean is when your body is tired, let it relax. It's okay to lay down on the couch. It's okay if there's dishes in the sink and you can't get to it right this minute. You don't have to be doing something every 5 minutes. Let yourself relax. Sometimes rest is the most productive thing that you can actually do. And that really, really supported me because when I felt safe to relax, that's when I stopped mindless snacking. When I was bored, I let myself be bored. I let myself just be like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to take it easy. Instead of thinking I needed to do something, go into the pantry and mindlessly snack. Okay, the third thing that I did was I got back in tune with my hunger and my fullness cues. For the longest time, people used to say to me, listen to your body. And I'm like, I don't feel anything. I'm like, hello, I'm trying to listen to my body, but I don't know. Am I hungry? Am I just bored? Am I just tired? I intellectually know that I'm full, but I'm still eating. And so I needed to reconnect to my hunger and fullness cues. I needed to stop being so distracted when I was eating. Sometimes I'd be eating as I was driving. Sometimes I would be eating while I'm scrolling on my phone or watching something. And I was just talking to a client on our Conquer coaching call yesterday. And she's like, do you recommend that we eliminate distractions? And here's the thing. If you are having a hard time feeling hunger and fullness, and then you're adding something else on top, like scrolling on your phone or watching something, it's going to make it that much harder for you to actually know whether you're hungry, whether you're full, whether you're satisfied. So for me, I eliminated all distractions. I started being more present with my meals. I started putting my utensils down and actually checking in. How is this food tasting? Are you liking it? Are you satisfied? Even in the middle of my meal, I would say, okay, like, how full do you feel? Because if you don't actually check in with yourself, this is what often happens. You finish your meal and you're like, I am way too full. And that could have been prevented if you actually paused in the middle of your meal and checked in with your body. How is this food making you feel? Are you full? Are you satisfied? But again, if you're just going through the motions and you're just going and eating your meal, then you finish your meal and you're not even full, you're overly full. And again, that can be prevented when you actually pause in between. And that's what I really did. And that really allowed me to get back in tune with my hunger and fullness because I was actually paying more attention. I was more present. I was asking myself questions. Ooh, okay, after eating that pasta dish, that actually left me feeling pretty satisfied and pretty full for an extended period of time. But if I just have an apple, I actually get hungry pretty quick. Like, you learn your body. You learn your body through trial and error. You learn your body through actually asking questions and paying attention to it. Not just autopilot, standing up, eating your food. I used to eat standing up. And there's no way you can actually be present. There's no way you can actually connect to your body when you're standing up and eating super fast. So slow down, put your utensils down, check in with hunger and fullness. How is this food actually tasting? And that's going to be really supportive. Number 4, the fourth thing that I did to help me conquer binge eating and stay binge free for 5 years now is I learned to feel my emotions. Now, this does not have to be a big, scary, daunting thing. Your emotions are energy in motion. When you look at your emotions as, oh my gosh, they're so big, they're these scary monsters, like I don't think I can process them, they feel so big, they feel so heavy, you're going to continue running away from your emotions and eating to try to not feel your emotions. But feeling your emotions can actually be quite simple. And what I started doing on my journey was I just simply asked myself, how are you feeling? What emotions are you experiencing right now? So many people go about their day. You go about your day, you're working, then you come home, you're getting dinner ready, and then you're cleaning the kitchen and you don't even check in with how you feel. And then 9 o'clock rolls around and you're in the pantry snacking your face off. But you didn't realize that you were actually really stressed, or you didn't realize that you were feeling really anxious or frustrated by a certain situation. But that could have been prevented if you checked in with yourself throughout the day and you asked yourself, how are you feeling in this moment? As soon as you wake up, how are you feeling right now? In the middle, how are you feeling? What emotions are you experiencing right now? Oh, I'm actually starting to feel a little anxious. Okay, you can catch the emotion. And then when you catch the emotion, you can use a tool, something like breath work, which I teach my clients. I'm certified in breath work. And you can use some breathing techniques to regulate your nervous system, to feel through the anxiety versus having the anxiety build and build and build and build. And next thing you know, the anxiety is so intense that you literally can't do anything. And you're like, I need to get rid of this right now. Boom, I'm going to go grab a muffin and stuff my face. So asking myself, just like tuning into my body, how are you feeling right now? What emotions are you feeling? That really, really, really supported me in actually feeling through and processing my emotions without needing to turn to food. Okay, number 5, there's 2 more here. Number 5 was I started to normalize binge-free weeks, binge-free months, and beyond. what I see very often is people will go a week without binging, even 2 weeks, even 3 weeks, even a month without binging. And then your brain is like, oh no, wait, this feels weird. No, 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 no. This isn't who I am. I'm this binge eater. I self-sabotage. I'm not consistent. Your brain is like, this is too good to be true. Don't get too excited. Another urge is around the corner. But when you think like that, it's hard to actually be consistent. It's hard to actually sustain binge-free months because you're always thinking about when's that next urge going to come? Oh, this probably isn't going to last. Instead, I started saying to myself, of course I haven't binged in a week. Oh, of course it's been a full month of me not binging. I'm rewiring my brain. I'm checking with my emotions. I'm putting my utensils down. I'm eating more slowly. I'm connecting to my body. I'm practicing not giving into my urges. Of course, I'm not binging. I started to normalize this. Instead of fearing conquering binge eating, I started normalizing it. And this is the mindset that I really support my clients with, because if you let your brain talk to you, your brain is going to be like, this is too good to be true. I'm probably going to have another binge soon. And then you get into scarcity mode. And what I see very often is you can be doing super well for a week, for a month, but because you're like, oh my gosh, this feels weird, this doesn't feel like me, you go and you sabotage. You literally go and binge, even when you didn't even want to, but you go and you binge because that's what feels safe. That's what feels familiar for you. And this is why I talk about you have to rewire your brain. You have to stop fearing conquering binge eating and normalize it. Of course, I haven't binged all week. Of course, it's been a month. I'm actually showing up. I'm putting in the work. I'm healing. I'm rewiring my brain. I'm practicing not giving into my urges. I'm stopping when I'm full, of course. And when you start to normalize it, it doesn't feel like this scary thing. You're not putting it on a pedestal of like, oh my God, I didn't binge for a month. You're just like, of course. Of course. Now, the last thing, number 6, that I did that really supported me in fully conquering binge eating and staying binge free for 5 years now is I stopped defining myself by the way that I looked. I used to be so obsessed with the way that I looked. I used to care so much about what other people thought about me. I needed to look a certain way. I needed to be a certain size. I would just be looking at myself in the mirror 24/7. I'd go out to a restaurant and I'm like, are people looking at my arms? Are people judging me right now? I cared so much about my body. But if you truly want to feel at peace with food in your body, you cannot be obsessing over your body image. You have to start seeing yourself for who you actually are, not just in how you look. How you look is such a small fraction of who you actually are. Like, you are this incredible woman who's driven, who is so committed. There's so much more to you. You have a heart of gold. You're driven, you're passionate, you're funny. Like, there's so much more to your personality than just the way that you look. And so for me, I started to see myself for who I actually was. I started to like actually feel my heart. Like, Lorna, there's so much more to you than just the way that you look. Your husband loves you because of your personality. Your friends love you because of how passionate you are and how caring you are and how much of a big heart you have. And if you start doing this yourself and you start asking yourself, like, what can I start seeing in myself? And maybe you recognize, like, you're like, I'm actually pretty funny. Maybe you're actually like, I'm so smart. Like, who are you deep down at your core? When you start seeing yourself for the actual incredible badass woman that you are, you stop worrying about the way that you look, because you recognize that people aren't attracted to you just because of the way you look. People are attracted to you because of how you make them feel. People love being around other people that make them feel really special and really seen. And the more that you can see that in yourself, the less obsessed you're going to be with your body. And why this is so important and how it's connected to binge eating is because when you're so obsessed with the way that you look, what ends up happening is you don't end up having the cookie because you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I look like that. You saw a glimpse of yourself in the mirror and you're like, oh, okay, I didn't love what I saw. And you either say, oh, I really want a cookie, but I probably shouldn't. Or you say, F it, I'm going to have 10 cookies because I feel like where I want to be with my body image is so far away from where I'm actually am right now. So F it, I'm just going to have all the cookies because I already feel like crap. So healing your body image is also a really important step to fully conquering binge eating. You can't just do one of these steps. You can't just practice not giving into your urges, because if you're still obsessing over the way that you look, that's going to make you have more food thoughts. You can't just get back in tune with your hunger and fullness cues. That's only one aspect. Sure, you might be able to stop eating when you're full. But again, if every single time you're stressed, you're overwhelmed, you're anxious, and you don't know how to process your emotions, you're always going to use food to try to comfort yourself. So the reason why right now you have some good days with food, maybe you're having less urges, you're having less binges, maybe you're doing a little bit less overeating, but you can't confidently say, like, I feel so free around food, like I have an easy, effortless relationship with food, is because you haven't mastered all of these key aspects. You can't just do one of them. You need to master all of them. You have to actually see yourself as more than a body. Work through your emotional eating. Eliminate your binge urges for good. Get back in tune with your hunger and fullness cues. When you do all of these key steps, this is actually when you're gonna conquer binge eating. I did these things, which is why I have not binged in 5 years. Not a single urge has popped back up. Even when I got stressed, even a death in my family, it doesn't matter. I've traveled with my husband and I still don't binge because I actually didn't go the quick fix route. I didn't just say, hurry up, I want to stop my binge eating. I don't care, I'm going to do anything, and do something quick. I took my time with this process. I gave it my all. I was fully committed. And I actually took the time to go through all these steps because I wanted to sustainably do this for good. If I'm going to do something, I'm like, if I want to conquer binge eating, I'm not going to just do a quick fix. It's like, no, I'm actually going to go all in and I'm going to work on all these aspects so that I'm never obsessing about my body. I actually really love the woman that I am. It doesn't matter if I'm stressed or I'm bored. I know that I can use breath work and within 2 minutes feel so much more in control. So this is why I created my program, Conquer. Inside of Conquer, I walk you through all of these important steps so that you conquer binge eating for good. I am not talking about you have a week binge free. I'm not talking about your binge free for a month. That is fantastic, but you're not here to just have a binge free month and then something happens, somebody makes a triggering comment about the way that you look and you spiral. You're not here to have a binge free month and then all of a sudden work gets so busy and you're really, really stressed and then you have a week-long binge. So inside of Conquer, we work through all of these key areas. If you're so committed to conquering binge eating, if you are like, this is a top priority for me in my life right now, you need to be inside of Conquer. This is a 6 or 12-month program. This is the final program you will ever need to sustainably conquer binge eating for good. I'm talking about for the rest of your life. I have not binged in 5 years. I know what it takes to actually do this sustainably, to eliminate your urges. I'm not talking about having less urges. I mean, you can literally be baking your favorite brownies and have no desire to eat them all in one sitting. I'm not just talking about, okay, I feel better in my own skin. I mean, you're going to be able to wake up in the morning, look at yourself in the mirror with your hair all messy, no makeup on, and you're like, you're the most beautiful woman in the world. So inside of Conquer, you're going to be able to implement all of this. You get access to all of my programs, 2 group coaching calls with me on Zoom where you can actually come on, ask your questions. I can help you work through your nighttime eating or a triggering comment that you've experienced or these nagging urges or getting back in tune with your fullness cues so it's easy for you to stop when you're full. You're also going to be part of our incredible badass community where these women make you feel less alone. I was on a coaching call yesterday inside of Conquer. And one lady, she didn't even have a question. She's like, everybody's questions made me realize that I'm not alone. I am so glad that I came on this call because I honestly thought I was alone in half of these things. And it's so reassuring that I'm not the only one experiencing this. And when you feel less alone, you skyrocket your progress because there's less shame, there's less embarrassment, and you actually feel hope of like, I can actually do this. So the price of Conquer is doubling on April 1st. So if you know you are ready to conquer binge eating, you're like, this sounds amazing. I am here to do things sustainably. I'm not looking for a quick fix. I don't want a binge-free week. I don't want to have less urges. I want them gone. I want to be able to be so present with my family. I want to have spontaneous date nights with my husband without making a big, deal out of it of, oh my God, we're going out for dinner. You actually just want to feel so at ease with food and really love the woman that you are, feel amazing in your own skin. Join us inside of Conquer. The price is doubling on April 1st. So what I want you to do is I want you to message me right now the word conquer. Message me the word conquer, and I will send you all the details to this program. We've had many people join this week, people from Australia, Belgium. There's people in the States, Canada, Australia, the UK, like all around the world. This is the program that you need to be in. It will be the final program you will ever need. So DM me the word conquer and I'll send you all the details. And I cannot wait to help you sustainably conquer binge eating for the rest of your life. All right, you guys, have a beautiful rest of your day and we will see you guys soon. Bye, guys.